and welcome to the news update on Papyrus Global TV. I am Christian Rabiu. APC declares unstoppable momentum ahead of FCT area council polls. Nigeria and Turkey unveil bold plan to smash visa bottlenecks. Wike rejects claims of formal agreement between Tinubu and Rivers. NNPP slams the door on Rabiu Kwankwaso's 2027 presidential ambition. US delivers strategic military supplies to Nigeria in counter-terrorism blitz. Ogun State's first civilian governor's wife, Lucia Onabanjo, dies at 100. Atiku accuses ruling party of misplaced priorities in security crackdown. And now the news info. The All Progressives Congress (APC) has expressed confidence that it will succeed in the upcoming Federal Capital Territory area council elections, pointing to backing from influential figures such as FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and political ally Isaac Fayose as key drivers of its prospects. The party's upbeat projection comes as the February 2026 elections draw closer, with the ruling party seeking to solidify control at the grassroots level in the nation's capital. Supporters and APC strategists have highlighted the role of Mr. Wike, despite his roots in the opposition People's Democratic Party, in rallying support for APC candidates in the territory, particularly through visible infrastructure projects and endorsement of key local leaders. At a campaign stop related to urban development in Abuja, Wike openly endorsed the APC chairmanship candidate for Abuja Municipal Area Council, urging residents to reciprocate government investment with votes for the ruling party. In recent commentary, Isaac Fayose, brother to former Ekiti Governor Ayo Fayose, linked the APC's organizational strength in the FCT and improvements in water and sanitation projects directly to Wike's influence, suggesting these factors could help the party secure victory in both the 2026 area council polls and broader 2027 elections in the territory. Fayose argued that visible infrastructure improvements under APC governance have shifted public sentiment in favor of the party. Nigeria and Turkey have taken steps towards easing visa procedures and enhancing business mobility between the two countries, a development welcomed by government officials and the private sector as a catalyst for deeper economic cooperation and trade expansion. The move is part of broader bilateral efforts to improve travel facilitation and strengthen commercial ties. During a courtesy visit by Turkish Ambassador Mehmet Poroy to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike in Abuja, Ankara confirmed the simplification of visa processes for Nigerian business travelers, removing the long-standing requirement for prior removal from Ankara and allowing certain visas to be issued directly at the Turkish embassy in Abuja. The change is expected to reduce bureaucracy, cut processing times, and encourage more frequent business and investment trips. The ambassador also disclosed plans to open a Turkish consulate general in Lagos, a move aimed at further easing access and supporting increased people-to-people exchanges, commercial activities, and tourism. These developments reflect shared ambitions to deepen trade relations, build on growing economic links, and foster mutually beneficial partnerships in areas such as investment, technology transfer, and cultural exchange. Officials from both sides have described the visa facilitation initiative as a practical step towards boosting bilateral commerce and diversifying economic linkages, particularly for Nigerian entrepreneurs and Turkish investors interested in collaborative ventures. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory FCT Nyesom Wike has reiterated that no formal deal binds President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the people of Rivers State amid ongoing political tensions in the oil-producing state. Wike, speaking on January 11, 2026, dismissed claims that such an agreement, often referenced in political discourse around Rivers politics, has been officially struck or publicly documented. Wike's clarification comes as part of a broader commentary on the political crisis in Rivers, where power struggles between local leaders and party structures have dominated headlines. The FCT minister stressed that while political cooperation and negotiations have taken place, there was no formal agreement between President Tinubu and the Rivers people that is binding or publicly endorsed by stakeholders. His remarks aim to reaffirm that political arrangements must be transparent and reflect the genuine will of the electorate rather than backroom deals. Wike's position highlights the sensitivities around political legitimacy in Rivers State ahead of the 2027 general elections, where alliances and endorsements could heavily influence voter behavior and party strategies. The new Nigeria People's Party NNPP has announced that Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, its 2023 presidential candidate, will not be permitted to contest the 2027 presidential election on the party's platform, a major development in Nigeria's opposition politics ahead of the next general election. Ogini Olaposi, the party's national secretary, made the declaration in a statement on January 11, 2026 in Lagos. According to Olaposi, the NNPP ticket for 2027 will be open exclusively to bona fide party members who follow due process, in contrast to 2023, where the party's ticket was effectively handed to Kwankwaso and his Kwankwasia movement as part of a pre-election arrangement. The Memorandum of Association between the NNPP and the Kwankwasia movement, signed in 2022, expired after the 2023 polls and was not renewed. The party stated effectively severing the bridge that previously tied Kwankwaso's faction to the party's presidential ambition. NNPP leadership described the 2027 selection process as inclusive and competitive, noting that several aspirants, including diaspora-based members, have already indicated interest in contesting for the presidential seat. The party also welcomed potential collaborations with like-minded political organizations as part of preparations for the 2027 cycle. Olaposi criticized suggestions that Kwankwaso's personal influence alone could secure electoral success, asserting that his past performance and base, particularly in Edo State, have diminished in part due to defections of key supporters to other parties. The NNPP has emphasized that its National Working Committee (NWC), legally recognized and endorsed by its courts, will oversee all alliance negotiations and candidate selections for the 2027 elections. We will now go on a short break, and when we come back, the news will continue. Stay tuned.
The Papyrus Global, we don't just cover events, we create cinematic experiences. From red carpets to birthdays, gala dinners, and your fairy tale weddings, we bring your moments to life with high-tech precision. Our gadgets are smarter, our lenses sharper, and our team simply world-class. Trust the Papyrus Global to tell your story in the boldest, brightest way possible.
Welcome back, and now the news will continue. The United States government has delivered critical military supplies to Nigeria's armed forces as part of an expanding counter-terrorism partnership aimed at bolstering the West African nation's effort against insurgent groups, violent extremists, and organized criminal gangs. The delivery was confirmed by United States Africa Command (AFRICOM) in Abuja on January 13, 2026, underscoring deepening defense cooperation between the two countries. AFRICOM said the supplies were handed over to Nigerian authorities to support ongoing security operations, particularly in regions grappling with persistent threats from groups such as Boko Haram, Islamic State affiliates, and other violent networks. While specifics of the equipment were not disclosed, U.S. officials described the delivery as part of a shared security partnership that also includes intelligence sharing, operational coordination, and strategic engagements. The handover follows a series of joint actions and strengthened ties, including coordinated airstrikes against extremist cells last year and expanded intelligence cooperation. Nigerian security officials have repeatedly emphasized the importance of external support to enhance domestic capacity in counter-terrorism operations across multiple theaters of conflict. The collaboration forms part of a broader bilateral security framework, with Washington indicating readiness to expedite defense equipment requests and intelligence support while also exploring complementary humanitarian and early warning initiatives in partnership with Nigeria. Chief Mrs. Lucia Onabanjo, the beloved wife of Chief Victor Olabisi Onabanjo, the first civilian governor of Ogun State, has died at the age of 100. Her passing on January 11, 2026 was announced by her family with deep sorrow and gratitude to God for a long and impactful life. Born in 1925, Lucia Onabanjo was revered as a matriarch, educator, community leader, and supportive partner throughout her husband's historic tenure as governor from 1979 to 1983. The family statement highlighted her legacy as a devoted mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, noting her enduring faith, love, and commitment to family and society. Her husband, Chief Victor Olabisi Onabanjo, was a respected journalist and political figure whose governance during Nigeria's Second Republic left a lasting imprint on Ogun's political development. Lucia Onabanjo's role alongside him, both in public life and civil society, contributed to the social fabric of the state's early democratic era. Funeral arrangements are expected to be announced by the family in due course. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has condemned the All Progressives Congress APC over the handling of the Ekpoma unrest in Edo State, accusing the ruling party of hunting down students who protested insecurity and allegedly negotiating with bandits instead of addressing the root causes of violence. His comments reflect intensifying national scrutiny over the violent aftermath of demonstrations in Ekpoma, Esan West local government area. Atiku's remarks came on January 13, 2026 as a controversial case of 52 suspects, many of whom are students of Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma, continued to draw criticism from opposition parties and civil society groups. The students were among those arrested and remanded in custody after protests last weekend against rising kidnappings and killings in the community escalated into violence, looting and property damage. The former presidential candidate said that rather than protecting citizens and punishing criminals, the APC-led government appeared focused on suppressing peaceful civic expression and allowing negotiations with criminal elements to take precedence, a stance he said undermines public confidence in governance and rule of law. His intervention adds to a chorus of voices including the People's Democratic Party and the National Association of Nigerian Students, demanding the immediate release of the detained students and calling the crackdown oppressive and unlawful. The unrest began when residents, including youth and students, took to the streets to protest escalating insecurity in Ekpoma. Although initially intended as a peaceful march, the demonstration was later overtaken by incidents of vandalism and violence, including at least one shooting and damage to commercial properties, prompting a police and military response. Those arrested were subsequently arraigned at a Benin High Court, which remanded them to Ubiaja Correctional Center and adjourned the case to February 26, 2026 for further hearing. And that's all we have on the news update on Papyrus Global TV. I am Christiana Babayo. Thanks for joining us.